Star Wars in Ancient Egypt. The Star Wars franchise has never been a stranger to using cultural inspiration to build up its universe. Looking at the Jedi Order, you can clearly see mystical inspirations from Buddhism and militant inspiration from Samurai Budo. Yet in analyzing its world building, we see order versus chaos narratives of the Enuma Elish reimagined as science fiction. We see Stoicism as the primary philosophy being taught by Jedi to their Padawans. And in the Jedi Code, we see direct parallels to the Catholic prayer of Saint Francis, or the 8 Beatitudes. So it shouldn't come as a surprise to you when I say that Jedi Fallen Order took inspiration from ancient Egypt when designing the visuals for the Zepho, the extinct species of Force-sensitive alien that the Jedi Eno Cordova was studying when Order 66 went out, and Jedi across the galaxy were systemically eradicated. So he hid a holocron containing a record of Force-sensitive children within a Zepho vault in the hopes that someone would come along and train a new generation of Jedi. It's a classic Star Wars story that's been done a few times now. Unfortunately, I have to take some issue with the Zepho. Don't get me wrong, I love when developers look to African culture for inspiration and take it seriously. Jedi Fallen Order only does so on a very surface level, using some ancient Egyptian phonetics for a few proper nouns, tall statues, vaguely pyramid-shaped giant mountains, and the flat side profile style seen on ancient Egyptian murals and pottery. Strangely, a writing system that takes more from Mesopotamian cuneiform than from hieroglyphics. All of these things are great in my book, but it feels somewhat disingenuous when across the video game industry and Euro-American culture as a whole, the only African culture anyone ever draws inspiration from is Egypt. Only the one culture Euro-American cultures associate with the belief of its direct heritage with ancient Greece and the Roman Empire. Though there's quite a few cultural revolutions that make that connection more tenebrous and historically inaccurate. Since it's fairly surface level, I have to ask myself, why did they bother with Egypt when they could have used something like Greece or Rome instead? And unfortunately, I think the answer is the modern obsession with the ancient aliens theory, a fringe belief popularized into normalcy by television networks like the History Channel or Discovery Channel, networks that once attempted to democratize real education by providing it freely over broadcast, only to realize that hawking alien cryptid ghosts was far more lucrative. At the very core of the belief in ancient aliens is racism. It is the belief that ancient African people could not have been intelligent enough, organized enough, or capable enough to create massive monuments that would stand the test of time, coupled with ancient methods being lost to time, until more recent archaeology uncovered explanations of the architecture techniques used, and the 20th century obsession with aliens created by the fervor around Roswell, New Mexico, led to people concluding that the only reasonable answer to black excellence in the same time as the Roman Empire is, of course, actually intelligent aliens came down and taught them. Happy to attribute the accomplishments of Rome to Alexander and Caesar, but the empires of brown parts of the world just can't make sense. Brown people have to remain primitive in the social consciousness for ancient alien beliefs to work. So, in spite of how much I like the Zepho and the inspiration on display, knowing that the modern ideas they allude to are founded in a roundabout flavor of modern bigotry somewhat spoils the fun. Stay true.